We've all been there, struggling to make ends meet, trying to figure out where our next paycheck's going to come from, where our next tank of gas is going to come from, where our next month of rent's going to come from. That's what working for minimum wage is. It's not a sustainable and livable wage. It's just a minimum that a company is required to pay you in the area that you live in. Raising minimum wage federally to 15 an hour will not have the intended effect on the economy that people imagine. It would bring an economic downturn. It would cause business closures, which would cause job loss. People would have their hours cut. I've worked for minimum wage and I didn't like it. I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. I had to work 2 jobs sometimes. I had to work for food after I got done working at work all day because I couldn't live on my own. I'm going to tell you why raising minimum wage to $15 an hour is not economically sustainable for everyone across the board, the entire country. Minimum wage is supposed to be an entry-level position for teenagers, young adults that are just getting into the workforce, criminals that have lifelong criminal histories that don't have any sort of skills or a lot of customer service or talking skills. It's also for students such as ourselves. We may be making money at college or maybe living with our parents and we just need to have a supplemental income. This is what minimum wage is for. Minimum wage is also there to build your soft skills, to help you figure out where you want to be in life. Maybe you don't want to work fast food, but you love retail. Maybe you hate retail, but you like cooking on the line. Minimum wage will teach you where you want to be in life. Maybe you don't want to do any of those and you're going to go to college to earn some, to get a higher education so that you don't have to do that anymore. That's what minimum wage is there for. To teach people how to go into the workforce and work efficiently and well. Will raising minimum wage really lift people out of poverty? I would say no, because 10% of the population is in extreme poverty. 25% of the population is in low poverty bracket or a high poverty bracket or a low middle class bracket. What that means is 25% of those people, at least 10% of the low middle class will be dropped into the poverty. The high poverty will be dropped to a medium poverty, and the low poverty will be brought to a medium poverty. Now you'll have 35% of the population in poverty. This is how economic downturns happen in the first place. Because you're going to have business closures because they have to pay their employees more, so they have to charge more. If people aren't going to their business because they can't compete with the chains, then the mom and pops are going to close. They have razor thin profit margins, razor thin. So they can only do so much when the market has such a large change. For places like California, New York, Washington, they've already raised it to $15 an hour. Our economies are working to figure that out. In the Midwest, minimum wage is only $10 an hour. Or it's only cost $10 an hour to live in the Midwest. Their minimum wage might only be $8 or $9 an hour. That is an efficient wage to live for minimum wage in their area. If you raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, their cost of living is going to double. So now the cost of living there, instead of $10, is going to be $20 to $23 an hour, just like it is in California, $25, which would be an unsustainable livable cost for all these people. So as a whole, I don't see how it would have any great effect for everyone if minimum wage was raised. Proponents of minimum wage believe that raising minimum wage will boost the economy by higher wages with more consumer spending. I don't think that's going to happen. Your mom and pop stores are going to close, like I explained. The corporations, all they're going to do is they're going to turn to technology and automation to be able to combat the higher wage. They're still going to be able to survive. They already have high turnover rates, increased insurance costs, so all that is going to affect what chain stores they're going to close. They might open other stores in other parts of the world where economically it is feasible for them to open stores. They're going to close all their stores in the United States. That means that all of us, all those people have lost their jobs. So now you have job losses in the millions, just like with this coronavirus right now. You're seeing this on the news, but it's not the truth, because all these businesses are going to open back up when this virus ends. I just explained to you how these businesses will not be able to reopen again, because once you raise minimum wage to $15 an hour federally, it's impossible to lower it again. So the entire economy would have to shift to be able to make that kind of a change. As you can see, raising minimum wage would have a crippling effect on the economy and most on small economies and the economy as a whole, because each small economy is a little vein in the heart of what we are as the United States. Redding is a lifeblood of Northern California. Sacramento is a lifeblood of all of Northern California. You have California, which is a lifeblood of almost the entire world. We supply a lot of the world's food and produce and lumber. We produce. California has the 5th largest economy in the world. That's why we have $15 an hour minimum wage. A place like Arkansas doesn't need a $15 an hour minimum wage. I know that working for minimum wage sucks, but it's the value of learning that you don't want to work for that wage, that you want to do better, that you want to achieve better, that you don't want to live with your mom and dad and have a supplemental income, be able to make it. You want to make it on your own. So you want to get skills, you want to get an education, you want to work hard to achieve something better than minimum wage, than an unsustainable wage, unsustainable livable wage. We need to be part of the solution to find a way to be able to raise the living standards for everyone without lowering the standards for a large population of people. You can't help a few and punch a bunch in the face. I just don't see how that is very effective or caring. Thank you.